Once you understand how your mind works, you can control it. And once you can control it, you can focus it. But here's the truth. You cannot focus on, master, or direct something you don't truly understand. And that's why most people never change their lives. They're trying to force discipline, motivation, or success, without ever learning the operating system behind it all, their own thoughts. Your mind is not just a tool. It's the lens through which you see the world, the filter that shapes every choice, every emotion, every belief. Change the lens and the world you see changes with it. But keep the same lens, scratched, fogged, cluttered, and no matter how hard you work, the picture will never be clear. Today I'm going to show you why mastering your thoughts isn't just positive thinking. It's not about ignoring reality, it's about shaping it. Because when you shift the way you think, you're not only changing your inner state, you're reprogramming the way reality responds to you. And in just a moment, I'm going to explain exactly how changing your thoughts can create the life you've imagined, not in theory, but in reality. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to share isn't just information, it's transformation. Before we go deeper, I want you to do two things. First, like this video, so it reaches more people who need to hear this message. Second, go to the comments and write, "I deserve the best," not just as words on a screen, but as a declaration to yourself, right here, right now. Because the moment you start affirming your worth, your mind begins searching for proof of it. Your thoughts are not harmless. They are blueprints. Every single one sends a signal to your body, to your emotions, to the field of energy around you. And those signals begin arranging your life to match the frequency you're living in. Most people think life happens to them, when in truth it's happening through them. The situations you face, the opportunities you attract, even the people who come and go, all of it is influenced by the dominant patterns of your thinking. Here's the thing most people never realize: your mind is constantly gathering evidence to prove your beliefs right. If you think you're not good enough, your mind will highlight every failure, every rejection, every flaw. If you believe life is unfair, you'll notice every single moment that supports that narrative, and ignore the moments that don't. This isn't magic, it's focus. Your brain filters billions of bits of information every second, and it only allows through what matches the story you've been telling yourself. So if you want to change your world, you have to change that story. You have to catch yourself in the middle of the old mental loops and interrupt them. Not by pretending everything is perfect, but by choosing a different frame. I can't becomes I'm learning. I never becomes I haven't yet. This always happens to me becomes something new is coming for me. These small shifts in language begin creating new neural pathways in your brain, and over time those pathways become your default way of thinking. And here's where it gets powerful. Once your internal state changes, your external reality starts to rearrange itself to match it. You begin noticing possibilities you missed before. You start taking actions that once felt impossible. People respond to you differently, not because they've changed, but because you're showing up in a new energy. That's why the phrase is true: change your thoughts and you change your world. The truth is, most people never consciously choose their thoughts. They wake up each day and immediately pick up yesterday's mental habits, yesterday's worries, yesterday's limitations, as if they were carved into stone. But your thoughts are not permanent structures. They are patterns, and patterns can be rewritten. The mind will repeat whatever is most familiar, not necessarily what is most true. This is why awareness is everything. Until you become aware of what you're thinking, you can't change it. Your thoughts are like the code running in the background of your life. If that code is full of doubt, fear, and limitation, it doesn't matter how much you hustle, you're building on an unstable foundation. But once you begin to rewrite the code, even slightly, the entire system starts to respond. Think about it. Every great achievement, every invention, every movement that's ever shifted humanity, started as a thought in someone's mind. Someone imagined it, believed in it, and refused to let go of it. Your life works the same way. The quality of your thinking shapes the quality of your decisions, and your decisions shape your reality. So the question is, what reality are you building? Are you unknowingly reinforcing the same old walls you've been trying to escape? Or are you laying the foundations for something new? Because here's the truth. Every time you focus on a thought, you're watering a seed. You can water seeds of possibility, hope and vision, or seeds of fear, doubt and regret. But you cannot water both at the same time. And here's where most people struggle. They try to think bigger while surrounding themselves with people, habits and environments that keep them small. Your mind doesn't grow in isolation. It grows through what you feed it, the conversations you have, the content you consume, the self-talk you allow. If you want a different life, you can't just change your mindset in the morning and then spend the rest of the day drowning it in the same energy you're trying to escape. This is where discipline meets alignment. Discipline is not about forcing yourself to think positively all the time. It's about consistently redirecting your focus toward thoughts that support where you want to go, even when your current reality hasn't caught up yet. Alignment is when those thoughts starts to feel natural, not forced. When you no longer have to convince yourself you deserve better, because it's simply the truth you live by. The shift happens quietly at first. You might notice you're not as reactive. You might feel less anxious in situations that used to drain you. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach begin showing up. And when they do, you're ready, because you've been rehearsing that version of yourself in your mind all along. So when I say change your thoughts and you change your world, I'm not speaking in slogans. I'm telling you the most practical truth there is. Your mind is the architect of your life. If you want a new life, start with a new design. And the design begins with what you choose to think, over and over, until it becomes who you are. And right now, in this very moment, you have that choice. To keep living from the same thoughts that built your current reality, or to begin shifting into the thoughts that will build the life you've been imagining. It doesn't happen in one giant leap. It happens in hundreds of small decisions. Decisions about where you place your attention, what stories you repeat to yourself, and which voices you allow to stay in your head. This is where most people give up, because they expect change to feel like a lightning strike. But real transformation is quieter than that. At first, you may barely notice the difference. Just a little more patience here, a little less self-doubt there. But these are the first signs that your inner world is rearranging itself. And once that shift begins, it's only a matter of time before your outer world follows. Every time you choose a thought that aligns with your highest self instead of your oldest fear, you're bending reality in your favor. Every time you refuse to spiral into the old story, you're weakening its grip on you. And every time you decide to see possibility where you once saw limits, you're training your mind to work for you instead of against you. This is not about pretending life is perfect. It's about refusing to hand over your power to the same thinking that kept you stuck. Because when you truly understand how your mind works, when you see the link between your thoughts, your feelings, and the life you're experiencing, you stop waiting for life to change on its own. You stop playing the role of the victim, and you step into the role of the creator. From there, everything begins to shift. The opportunities you notice, the people you attract, the way you carry yourself in every room. And suddenly, the life you once thought was out of reach feels closer than ever, because you've been building it in your mind all along. It's that you were trying to plant new seeds in soil that was still poisoned by the old ones. You were chasing change without changing the container it had to live in, your mind. Now you see it differently. You understand that the thoughts you choose are the foundations on which everything else stands. You don't just hope for a better life anymore. You create the conditions for it. You clear out the beliefs that tell you it's not possible. You stop replaying the memories that convince you you're stuck, and you replace them with something stronger, something cleaner, something that actually supports the vision you're moving toward. And the most beautiful part, you don't have to wait for anyone else to give you permission. You don't have to wait for the timing to be perfect. You don't have to wait until you feel ready. You start now, with one thought, and then another, and another, until the pattern shifts, until your mind stops pulling you backward and starts pulling you forward, until the voice in your head stops doubting you and starts guiding you. Because the truth is, the moment you stop letting your thoughts run wild and start leading them with intention, your life begins to align with who you were always meant to be. And once you've experienced that, you'll never go back. And as this new way of thinking takes root, you'll notice something profound. The outside world begins to respond to you differently. Opportunities that once felt distant suddenly feel within reach. Conversations shift. People treat you according to the standard you've been holding for yourself. Even challenges arrive with a different energy, as if life itself is asking, are you ready to live in alignment with the world you've been creating inside? This is the turning point most people miss. They wait for life to prove something to them before they commit to believing it's possible. But it doesn't work that way. Belief comes first. Evidence follows. The more you commit to the thoughts that match your vision, the faster the world around you begins to mirror them back. Think about it. The person who believes they're worthy of love will walk into a room differently than the person who secretly thinks they don't deserve it. The one who believes opportunities are everywhere will notice doors opening that others walk right past. The one who believes change is possible will keep moving forward when others give up. None of this is coincidence. It's cause and effect, and it all begins in the invisible space between your ears. That's why guarding your mind is not optional. It's essential. You are in constant conversation with yourself, and those conversations are building your future. If those conversations are filled with doubt, criticism, and fear, you're building walls. If they're filled with possibility, self-trust, and vision, you're building bridges. So you have to ask yourself, what am I building today? Am I reinforcing the life I no longer want? Or am I laying the foundation for the one I've been dreaming of? Because the truth is, the moment you decide to lead your thoughts instead of being led by them, the game changes. You begin to live intentionally. You stop reacting to the old triggers the same way. You stop accepting situations that shrink you. And without even forcing it, you start taking steps that align with your highest self. Steps that your old mindset wouldn't have let you see. This is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about refusing to give the same tired thoughts the power to run your life. You have the ability to pause, to choose, to redirect. And each time you do, you're rewriting the script you've been living by. The day you fully embrace that is the day your life stops feeling like something that's happening to you and starts feeling like something that's happening for you. And on that energetic level, the shift is even more powerful. Every thought you have carries a frequency. That frequency doesn't just stay in your head. It radiates outward, shaping the way you feel, the way you speak, and the way you move through the world. People can feel it, even if they can't explain it. Opportunities respond to it. Life organizes itself around it. When you think thoughts rooted in fear, scarcity, or doubt, you send out a signal that says, I'm not ready, I'm not enough, I'm not open. And life reflects that back. Doors close, people withdraw, progress slows. But when your thoughts are aligned with trust, possibility, and self-worth, the signal changes completely. You begin to draw in situations that match that vibration. The right people arrive, ideas flow more easily, solutions appear where there used to be roadblocks. This is why so many spiritual teachings, across cultures and centuries, all point back to the same truth. As within, so without. Change the energy inside you, and the outside world must follow. And here's the beautiful part. You don't have to wait until you feel ready to start sending out that higher signal. You start by practicing it in your mind, over and over, until it becomes natural. At first it might feel forced, like wearing new shoes that haven't molded to your feet yet. But with repetition, it becomes your default. One day, you'll catch yourself in a moment of peace, where you would have once been anxious, or in a conversation where you hold your boundaries effortlessly, without guilt. You'll notice that your reactions have changed, not because the world got easier, but because your inner world got stronger. And that's when you'll realize, you didn't just change your thoughts, you changed your frequency. And that frequency has been quietly rewriting your entire life. Here's the truth no one really tells you. You cannot pull good things into your life while filling your mind with thoughts that contradict them. It doesn't matter how many goals you write down, how many vision boards you make, or how much you say you want something. If your dominant thoughts are rooted in fear, lack, and self-doubt, that's the signal you're sending out. And the universe will always return what you broadcast. You've heard the phrase, you are what you eat. But here's the deeper law, you are what you think. If you think like someone who is always struggling, you will keep finding struggle. If you think like someone who always gets rejected, you will find ways to confirm that belief. Your mind is always looking for evidence to prove itself right, and it will twist reality to match whatever story you've been feeding it. That's why this work is so important. It's not just about being positive for the sake of feeling better in the moment. It's about breaking the loop that's been keeping you stuck in the same cycles for years. If you want to attract peace, you have to think in ways that create peace. If you want love, you have to think in ways that allow love in. If you want success, you have to think like someone who is already capable of building it. And I know, no one told you this when you were growing up. No one explained that your thoughts are not just random noise, but a creative force. No one warned you that the way you talk to yourself is programming your future. Most people were never taught to protect their mind, so they let it run on autopilot, repeating the same patterns their parents, teachers, and peers unknowingly passed down. But now you know. Now you can see that your thoughts are not harmless. They are instructions. And the life you are living today is the result of the instructions you gave yesterday. Change the instructions, and the results must change. So many people spend their lives wondering why manifestation doesn't work for them. They read the books, they watch the videos, they make the vision boards. But here's the real reason it's not showing up: because in your mind you don't truly have it. If you don't hold the image of what you want in your thoughts, it can't become part of your reality. It's that simple. Your mind has to experience it first before your life can. Want a beautiful home? Then stop just wishing for it. Start living in it in your imagination. Close your eyes and walk through the front door. Smell the air. Feel the light coming through the windows. Hear your footsteps on the floor. See yourself waking up there every morning. Want to travel to Paris? Don't just scroll past pictures online. Put yourself inside them. See the Eiffel Tower above you. Imagine the taste of fresh croissants in the morning. Hear the sound of the streets. Picture yourself taking photos, laughing, exploring, feeling the city around you. That's how it works. You can't just want it in words. You have to want it in pictures, in sensations, in the small details that make it real to your mind. Because your mind doesn't know the difference between what's vividly imagined and what's actually happening. And once your mind believes it, it will begin guiding you, in small, almost invisible ways, toward making it real. This is the part no one teaches. Manifestation isn't about asking the universe for something and waiting. It's about creating the feeling, the vision, the energy of already having it, and holding that consistently enough for the outer world to catch up. And here's where most people lose momentum. They think they only need to visualize once or twice, and the rest will just happen. But your mind is like a garden. If you plant the seed and walk away, weeds will take over. If you don't water it every day, it won't grow. So you need a daily practice, a way to keep your vision alive until it becomes second nature. That doesn't mean sitting cross-legged for hours chanting mantras. It means intentionally directing your thoughts, even for a few minutes, every single day. Here's how. When you wake up in the morning, before you even check your phone, close your eyes and drop into your vision. See yourself in the life you want, not just the big flashy moments, but the everyday details. If it's that dream home, imagine making coffee in the kitchen. If it's a trip to Paris, picture the morning light through your hotel window. Make it so vivid that your body reacts. Maybe you smile, maybe you feel lighter, maybe your heart beats faster. That's the signal your brain needs. Then, throughout the day, keep checking in. If your mind drifts to worry or lack, gently bring it back to your vision. Not in a way that feels forced, in a way that feels like you're coming home to the truth of where you're going. And at night, right before you sleep, replay the same images again. Your subconscious is wide open in those moments, ready to take in whatever you feed it. If you give it pictures of the life you want, it will work on building pathways toward it while you sleep. The key is consistency. If you can keep your mind living in the reality you want, even for a few minutes each morning and night, you're training your entire being to align with it. And once alignment happens internally, the external shift is inevitable, because manifestation isn't a one-time wish. It's a daily decision to think, feel, and act from the place where what you want is already yours. And this is where the hidden challenge shows up. The reason most people quit before they see results. When you start holding a new vision, your old thoughts will fight to survive, not because they're evil, or because the universe is against you, but because your mind is wired for familiarity. Even if that familiarity is uncomfortable, it feels safer than the unknown. So the moment you begin imagining a better life, the old patterns start whispering, "This is silly. It's not realistic. Who do you think you are?" Or they'll remind you of every time you've tried and failed in the past, hoping to pull you back into the same loop. If you're not aware of this, you'll take those thoughts as truth, and you'll stop. But if you understand that it's just your brain trying to protect its comfort zone, you can smile at those old voices and keep going anyway. Here's the secret. You don't need to feel 100% certain every day. You just need to feel certain enough to keep showing up. Even on the days when doubt is loud, you can still choose the vision over the fear. And the more you do that, the quieter the doubt becomes. Most people think manifestation is about forcing the universe to give them what they want. It's not. It's about training yourself to become the version of you who naturally receives it. That version doesn't give up after a bad day. That version doesn't throw the vision away when results aren't instant. That version stays steady, because they know the inner shift always comes before the outer shift. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll wake up in the very reality you've been imagining. Not because it magically appeared out of nowhere, but because you became the person who could live in it. ChatGPT. And when that day comes, it won't even feel like a shock. It will feel natural, almost inevitable, because you've been living in it in your mind for so long. The streets you walk, the conversations you have, the opportunities that land in your lap, they'll all feel strangely familiar. That's because you've already visited them 100 times in your imagination. This is the part no one explains clearly enough. Your imagination isn't just pretend, it's the blueprint of your future. Every vivid detail you hold in your mind is like a draft your subconscious works from, constantly shaping your actions, your words, and even your energy to match that picture. If you've been visualizing lack, struggle, rejection, that's the life you're unconsciously creating. But if you've been holding the image of abundance, peace, success, that's the path you're paving, whether you see the bricks being laid or not. And here's the truth, you can start reshaping that picture today. You don't need more money, more time, or more luck to begin. You only need to direct your focus on purpose, toward the life you actually want to live. Every single time you choose that picture over the old one, you're turning the wheel toward your desired future. It might be a slow turn at first, but momentum builds. And once the momentum is strong enough, it's not just your thoughts that change. It's your habits, your relationships, your opportunities, your entire world. So the next time you catch yourself wondering why nothing's changing, stop and ask, what image am I living in right now? Because if the picture in your mind hasn't changed, your life can't either. Change your thoughts, and you change your world.